to thank all of you tonight for coming to our community meeting. Thank you all that are here. We've got a lot that's watching online, I know. It's very important that we have these meetings because there's a lot going on in our community that we need to be aware of. And the next couple of months is going to be a lot going on. So before we begin, let's get you to stand and let's say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to ask Tommy Cashwell if he would open our meeting up with prayer.
Father, we thank you, Lord God, for this day again, Lord. We thank you for all the blessings that you give as individuals, as families, and as a community, Lord. We thank you, Lord God, for this time we have to come together tonight, Lord, for the privilege you live, Lord God. We just thank you for all the board members and all the people that speak. Lord, let us make decisions and discuss things like we should, Lord God, Lord, your will be done. Lord, give you all the praise, honor, and glory to Jesus Christ's name.
Maybe seated. We're here from our minutes of the last meeting and the treasurer's report.
The minutes from the last meeting, we went over with everything with the DOT, vandalism, the schools, the building of the houses, and the park,
Okay.
the community house.
Okay.
And the treasurer have gone up to $235.
We have a great big $235 for the volunteer community board. This board, does that stand approved as read? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We want to recognize all our special guests, and all of you are special. We have some of the folks that's going to be in the election. Thank you for coming tonight and being a part of that. And we thank you for where you stand. So we're going to get right into our business because I know we got some things we want to discuss. An update on the DOT project for our community right down here. They are surveying. I talked with DOT yesterday, and it's probably going to be a couple more months that action will begin to take place at the end of Lindsay and Rockfish Road to make things safer. So it's, I talked with one of the gentlemen yesterday. I got out, I've been real sick. I got out yesterday and drove a little bit, or the day before yesterday. What's the day? Tuesday? Yeah. I got out yesterday and drove a little bit, drove down here and talked with some of them, and they told me that, and the man from Raleigh said it will probably be the next couple of months. We're going to see some action taking place. So that's to let you be aware of what's going on. You see all the writing or the markings on the road down there, and that's where that stoplight and things are going to go there. Local vandalism, it continues to go forward. Somebody tried to get my lawnmower a couple of weeks ago at about 12:15 in the morning, and my wife, she woke up and they were standing there looking at the lawnmower. But they saw the camera and they run. And I do know that we've had several instances in this area where people are doing a lot of breaking in, stealing stuff. If you leave your lawnmower on the outside of your carport, you just want somebody to take it. Somebody's going to get it. I had a neighbor that pushed their lawnmower up against the side of the front door, and I stopped yesterday. I said, and you know, they said, "How you doing, Mr. Larry?" I said, "I'm hanging in there, because I've been real sick." But I said, "How bad y'all want that lawnmower?" I said, "You better put it in your car." But it's going on at nighttime. I hope they don't come back to my house because we've got some stuff prepared for them. So. But that's still going on. Vandalism continues. They're taking Cadillac converters and broad open daylight, going in the parking lot, and taking a little saw and cutting the Cadillac converter off and walking out of the parking lot. So that's what's going on. Sheriff's Department's doing the best they can do with what they've got. They're trying. I know they've been patrolling a lot in this community. It hasn't been as bad the past couple of weeks, but it's still bad. It's still bad. So, you know, just keep your stuff safe and keep it locked up. A lot of people say, well, what does that have to do with a community meeting? It has a lot to do with a community meeting. Because we got a lot of people that watch this online that will not come out to a meeting, but they'll watch it. Now we're on live stream. Right, Brian? Live stream, the big city of Rockfish. Everybody can know what's going on. And we do have a lot of things. I'm gonna ask the board at this time, y'all got any new business you'd like to bring up? Carlos, Janice, and Sandy?
Not anything new right now.
Well, we're gonna get into some good stuff. Next Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we're gonna have another meet and greet. We've had a couple of these. We had one back in the primary meeting and got so much response. Everybody was, even throughout the county, has complimented on how this meeting took place. The way nobody's in control, everybody was done accordingly to the rules and regulations, what we're gonna do. And it gives people a chance to put a face to the name when you go behind that curtain. And I think that's very important of what we've got going on. We've got six gentlemen running for county commission. We've got 3 incumbents, and we've got 3 challengers. They'll all be here, and I think we've got 10 people for the Board of Education. We have one with us tonight. Everybody's got a different view. But when people hear and see how they respond to participation, that's how I make up my mind. And everybody knows the word CHANGE is something that everybody's looking at. There's nobody alike. There's nobody votes for the same person. We should respect one another. But a lot of people are really looking at that word, CHANGE, change. So, you know, it's something that we've all got to do. And I hope and pray that the people of our community, Rockfish, not only Rockfish, but Hope County, 13.9%. 13.9% is not going to get it. That's a constitutional right that each one of us have. You need to vote. If you don't vote, don't complain. Bottom line. How many of you agree with that? If you don't vote, don't complain. Go to those county commissioner meetings. Go to those Board of Education meetings. How are you going to learn something? How are you going to learn about what's going on with your tax dollar in Hope County? How are you going to learn? You're not going to learn. All you're going to do is hearsay. Well, I heard they're doing this. How do you know they're doing that? Very important. Next week, the 29th, I want there's some of the candidates here tonight. If you'll be here at 6:40, and I'll have a sheet back there for you to sign up. You're going to be given 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Then in October, we'll have 3 questions. So it's going to be different, but that's very important to our community. We look around and we see the same familiar faces that come to our community meeting. Where's everybody else at? Did they care? Wonder. So I challenge all of those that are watching tonight. I'd like to see 100+ people in this building next week.
And it is very important, I'm telling you, because I didn't know, I'll be honest with you, I did not know the candidates.
Oh yeah,
she
didn't know them.
I learned, you might not think 5 minutes is enough, but I'm telling you, you learn so much in 5 minutes about these people.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, as soon as they start talking, you know, so it's important for you to come. If you don't know them, you come to that meeting and you will learn.
And you know, not only will you learn something from them talking within that, they could speak all night. But if we let 16 people speak 10 minutes, we'll be here to midnight. Well, now, we're not going to stay to midnight. I mean, they've been campaigning since last year.
And you know, those that's watching on Facebook, you know, it's good to watch it, but that night it's good to see them in person.
Yeah, they need to come.
So come if you can, those that's on Facebook watching now. It's good to, you know, to be here is important. It's more important to me if you can be here to see them in person and hear them. You know, if you can't, then Facebook's good. There's nothing wrong with Facebook, but being here in person just makes a world of difference.
I know we started these meetings 8 years ago. 8 years. Somebody said, why don't you quit? Why? Too late in the ballgame, quit now. 8 years ago, nobody never saw the growth of what was taking place out here. We had a vision that something was going to explode. And it's going to explode. There's things coming out this way. Within the next couple of months, the big announcement will be coming within the next 30 to 45 days. It's going to set the tone for the community of Rockfish. it's going to set the tone. So, meet and greet next Thursday night, 7 o'clock. And I challenge everybody that's here tonight to tell somebody. It's a good thing to gossip about. Tell them about the community meeting. They need to come. I mean, it's somebody said, well, things that y'all do is not important. Well, it's important to me. Because I care about this community. I've been here 65 years. Mr. E.T. Brock's been here 84 years. Some of us have grown up in this community. And we've watched it grow from a little rural area to what it is now. And now, it's getting to be out of control. Ask your fire department man there. It's out of control, isn't it? He knows. I watched the fire department grow from a little small building. Now it's grown to a multi-building down there. So, what it's going to be like 3 more years, 2 more years, we don't know. But I do know that this election that's coming up is going to play a big part of where Rockfish stands in Hood County. Another thing I'll just iterate very briefly. We don't have a lot of business tonight. There'll be, they asked me to announce that there's going to be a meet and greet of the sheriff on Saturday from 1:30 to 6 o'clock right up here at the community building. They're going to have free hot dogs. They're going to have some things that will, they'll be passing out. You get to meet the sheriff and talk to him. And that's something that the sheriff campaign is doing on Saturday. Free hot dogs. And come up and speak to him. And look at some of your patrol cars. And we might try to have a fire truck up there if we can get it. We'll see what we can do. But people need to see where your tax dollars go. We've already talked about this, but I'm going to say it again. The importance of voting. What is voting? That's an act of freedom. That's something that we come together and we cast our vote for the best qualified candidate. We've got a lot of people that's running. We've got a lot of good qualified people. And a lot of folks are falling on change. And that's what we all need to consider. And that falls back to the meet and greet. Why you have them? Well, you can put a face with a name. So, basically, what we've covered is the importance of what's going to happen here the next couple of weeks. And it's very important. We'll have some more business next month. We try to take the political scene away and keep it separate from our community business, because the political involves the county, so we like to, in the business that we do within the community of Rockfish, we like to keep that on a separate night. And we find that that's been better to do by keeping it separate. So I'm just going to open the floor right now. If anybody's got anything that they'd like to add to our meeting. I know Chris has got an announcement he wants to make, and I don't have a problem with that. And if you've got some things that you want to share with us, I just come up and do what you got to do.
All right.
I don't have a problem.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, Rockfish. I just wanted to make a quick announcement. Saturday from 11 to 1 at Stonewall Fire Department, we are holding a fundraising barbecue on behalf of the fire department. Firefighters from across the county and their families eat free. The plates would be $10. You'll get a serving of barbecue chicken, macaroni and cheese, and green beans, and a drink. And all the proceeds from the dinner sales go back to the Stonewall Fire Department. So I invite you to come out, support one of our local fire departments, and we'll have several more fire departments highlighted between now and November. But I just wanted to put that out, and I hope to see all of you guys there.
So don't forget that on Saturday. Fire department over Stonewall. Very
11 to
worthwhile
1.
call.
Yes, sir.
You know, the fire departments, they operate on the tax dollar. And it's according to how much money taxes are paid through your community. The McLaughlin Township, I would imagine, attracts the large amount of money that is given back to the fire department. So it's always good to support your local fire department, because you know, they have to go out all times of the night. They're worse than undertakers. Undertakers go out all the time. We just like the fire department, we're out all the time. So we applaud the fire departments and what they're doing. Thank you, Chris. Brother David?
Nobody likes to see you come, though. They like to see the fire department coming.
Well, you know,
Got to have both of them.
you got to have both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's good,
Absolutely.
it's
I
good
don't
that
mean to
you
distract
can
you.
depend on somebody.
Absolutely. I do
Anybody
have a
got-
comment, though.
Yeah.
Two comments. One, this is David Frump, County Commissioner candidate, for those online there. I've been knocking on a lot of doors in neighborhoods, and you were earlier talking about theft and people vandalism and all. And almost every neighborhood, the vast majority of people have these little doorbells with cameras in them. And I couldn't believe how many there were when I knocked on the doors and how effective they are. And I'll tell you, I know they're effective because I go knock on the door or ring the doorbell and nobody answers, and then I start talking. And I introduce myself, David Trump, and all of a sudden people come to the door. So they're there and they're watching. And those are really effective cameras. And I don't think they're very expensive. I don't know if anyone has one of those, but
But you know what? I'm sitting right here watching my front door.
there you go. And you can do that with more than one door,
That's
of
right.
course, or
I
garage.
can
or
sit
wherever
in
you
my
want to.
office in Fayetteville and watch my front door.
And it will ring when somebody.
And
comes
a
down.
UPS man will come in, he'll come to the porch and deliver a package, and I'll push a button. I said, just drop it in the chair. You can feel this number.
Now, the other thing I wanted to
So
mention.
that's very good.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention, went to the, Chris and I were both at the county commissioners meeting last night, and they signed a letter that encouraged people to come, businesses to come into the community. And in that letter, they specified that the sewer system coming out here has been fully funded.
Yes, sir.
So it's coming. By my estimation, it's awfully late. I know you could have had some businesses out here a
Long
couple
time
years ago, a long time ago. And that sewer system is awfully late, but we do have a swimming pool coming that is before the sewers. That's all I'll say.
The sewer is probably about 10 years late. But I do know that we have close to 50 acres of land that's on Coots Road that a friend of mine purchased, Jackie Hare, and they're in the process of cleaning that off. And on the Monroe Farm, they've already got pipe in the back where they're gonna start running the big pipe, and they're gonna start building there within the next 45 days. So you've got approximately 125 houses that's going on the Monroe Farm to start with, and you've got 80 houses, possibly more, that's gonna go on the Coots Farm. And the sewer is gonna come down Coots Road, gonna come to the elementary school, and keep right on coming into Rockfish. And we do have somebody that's already inquired about the lot on School Street on the corner, across from Dollar General, and at this time, you know, we can't relinquish any information about that. They're just waiting on the sewer to come. And then, once the sewer gets into Rockfish, we have other plans that's gonna take place likewise.
I have a question, and a lot of people's asked me, I don't know it. When the sewer line is run, okay, does the people have to get on it in the neighborhoods? And if they don't, because Hope County is one of the poorest counties, what about all the people who are not able
Well, these
financially
new
to
developments
get
will be on it. They'll be hooked up to it, but not, the existing houses, I don't know how they're gonna work. I've been getting letters from the county about signing up for it, and I hadn't messed with it.
Oh, okay.
I believe what their plan is if they come by your house, they give you an option to tap.
Yeah, they'll give you an option if they
You can-
come by your house.
About like the waters.
But the new homes,
They get ready to
that are
get
coming
it,
up.
don't have it. Oh, okay.
They could have put a lot of subdivisions on that sewer system by now, and they gave waivers to a lot of the builders, so they didn't have to tap into the sewer.
Yes, sir.
And it's cheaper.
So I'm also a licensed real estate agent, so I deal with some of this, development stuff like that. So what happens when the system initially is placed in service? What they do is they waive for a certain amount of time, usually 6 to 9 months, so that existing homeowners can tap in.
Yes, sir.
All you have to do is pay the plumber to come out and do the service.
Oh, okay.
But then after that time expires, then it's usually about $6,000, between $6,000 and $7,000.
I think the letter told me $7,000.
That would be.
Well, that's to run your trunk line from the main line to your
Yeah.
property. And then what'll happen is if later on you decide, hey, I wanna put it onto the public system, typically your utility company, I don't know how Hope County will do it, but they will give you a payment plan. So you pay $75 more on your.
That'll be
water
added to
bill,
your water
whatever
bill,
it is.
something, yeah.
And they'll finance it long term for you like that.
Oh, okay, yes, sir.
That's typically how it's done.
That's about what the letter said. I think it was like $7,000, but then they offer you a payment plan and they put that onto your water bill.
But if they pass by your door, the cheapest way to do it is to get to them,
That's right.
you know, by
Brian, do
far.
you have a question?
No, that answers my
Okay.
question.
Yes, sir.
Do we know when the widening of Rockfish Road is gonna happen? Because I just bought a house right down here at 8119 Rockfish Road,
Well,
about 3 years ago now.
well, how far are you down Rockfish? Out of Rockfish?
Just down past the, where the old, gambling trailer used to be.
Yeah.
Just down past that on the
By
left.
Gene Shepley's house, turn beside there.
I don't know when it's gonna be. The project here, Gillis Hill, it was scheduled in 2029, but there's a possibility it's gonna be booked back to 25, possibly. And it might come sooner than you think, but as far as Rockfish Road to Davidson Bridge, I cannot answer your question. But I will get you an answer.
They're gonna make it a divided highway, right?
Yes,
Beside
sir.
my house now.
You can find a lot of those plans on the Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, one of the good things that's happening out here for Rockfish and for the whole county for that matter, Danny Britt is running for, he is a current state senator, but he up until this election has not represented Hope County. This year, because of redistricting, he takes in Hope County. So again, it's a 2-year term, so he's elected every 2 years. Danny Britt is the head of the Transportation Committee, the Senate Transportation Committee in Raleigh.
Yeah, he serves on that same board with
Yeah.
John McKinnis.
Yeah, and I've talked to him many times, and he is, we've been taking him around here to show him what's going on, and he's very aware of the growth, and is tuned in to reorienting the priorities of Department of Transportation.
Well, it's gonna destroy my property value. Will they do that?
Well, the time to, when they start having public hearings, that's the time to talk about it. And if that's the case, you can get money out of that too.
I will check on that through the folks in Raleigh. I got a note to check on that tomorrow. Now, what's your name?
Ryan McClain?
Are you active in the fire department now?
Yes, sir.
They know how to get in touch with you?
Yep.
All right. All right. So we see a lot of concerns that's going on. I will say this, I was told through a reliable source, the property across the street, which is owned by C&S Realty, which is part of the Riddle family. The family did not tell me this, but I was told through a reliable source. That's possibly gonna be sold, a little small shopping center coming in next to the cemetery back this way. I don't know. I mean, you hear say, and people tell you about it, but you know, I know people are talking to them about the problem. It's just yet to be seen what's going to take place out here. But I say that once the sewer comes down Rockfish Road and gets to the school and comes into Rockfish, this old fellow says it's going to be on. It's going to get hot. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good thing for us.
Larry, I have a question for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
It has nothing to do with the sewer. The house on the corner, the Bundy house, what are they doing with that? Because the weeds are,
Well, they cut the grass over there. I know the fire department is very good about cutting the grass down on their part. And I made a deal with the man that owns property that's on, that I would keep up the sign and keep the grass cut at the sign all the way up to the light pole at the church. And that's when I quit. And since I've been sick, I've been having it, I pay for it to be cut. And I pick up the paper. And also around these fire hydrants, I've been taking my weed eater and cutting around the fire hydrants where people can see what's going on.
but what are they gonna do with the Bundy house?
They cut the grass, but they don't cut it as often like they should. But,
I think they're just sitting down waiting to see how far that road goes over.
well, that road is gonna come from the
Because-
center point, it's gonna go 30 foot on both sides.
Cause it's left to his two children because he's in
Okay,
such
30
critical
foot.
shape right now.
And it's gonna take part of their front yard, and it might take some of ET's, and I know they're probably gonna put a concrete barrier there to keep cars from running into ET's yard. So, lots gonna be happening. Lots gonna be happening. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Stand up here so I can stand in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if any of y'all been out to Camp Rockfish in a while, and you got a great opportunity coming up this Sunday. This Sunday we're opening up for Sunday brunch. So after church you come out and get you some eggs and sausage and that kind of thing, or fried chicken and cheesy taters and all the fixings. We're opening up so you can come on down that dirt road where a lot of people like to come on down and just try to figure out what's going on down there. Well, you can come on in and yeah, and come get a bite to eat and explore Camp Rockfish a little bit. You know, we'd love to have the community out there. It's $13 for adults and $8 for children, and it'd be a great opportunity. And we, you know,
Why don't you give that flyer to Mr. Brian Martin there,
Will do.
let him put it on the Rockfish Community Ball.
Definitely.
Put it out there.
We appreciate y'all, and we know that y'all are church-going folks, and you know, like I am, and Camp Rockfish.
Yeah.
And it's a good.
It's
There,
a good-
there isn't a lot around here to go eat.
Well, I tell you what.
without getting into
Yeah.
town.
I have people all the time, even in my business in Fayetteville, that say, where's Camp Rockfish?
Please, keep pointing them. Keep pointing them. I run into people all the time that live in this community that said they didn't even know we were there.
Well, it's on the map.
But it's on the map. Yes, sir. So I appreciate y'all.
It's on the map.
Thank you.
Give that to Brian, he'll take care of it.
Will this be every Sunday, or?
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
That's
Two.
okay.
You could sign up if you go to camprockfish.org.
And we'll receive the
And you
text.
can sign up and you can get the updates, but you can pay ahead of time if you want to come
Okay.
and reserve your table, or you can just show up.
Okay.
That's okay. But if you want to reserve ahead of time and make sure you got your spot and your food, that would be great.
Well, I know Camp Rockfish is well known over the state of North Carolina
Yes,
and
sir.
Virginia.
With Castellon, and I went to the last school board meeting, and so obviously everybody knows that I'm running for a Board of Education, a nonpartisan position, and I'm very active in that, and I am 100% against adding to the high school. There's going to be a open period for the public to speak for or against, and this is the only time we're going to have. So if you don't want the current high school just to add more buildings to it, I am pushing to get a high school in the eastern side of Whole County, where we can worry about that if we get that done. But right now, as it stands, if nobody gets involved, we're going to have a high school campus in downtown Rayford, and it's going to be it's just a lot of hassles as I see it. It's going to probably be a nightmare for the fire departments if they ever get a fire situation. So I ask that you keep note of that, and how they didn't say how they were going to put the information out. So far, they have not been transparent at all. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just put it on the newspaper real quick, and that's the end of that. Okay, so, but I will keep you posted. My wife follows this area, so if I find something out, I'll let you know. But now is the time for us to be involved if we want improvement, change, especially in this area.
What was that date again? I'm sorry.
That's the
You
thing.
don't know, okay.
That all they do is put out some information, then they don't tell us everything. And of course, the only reason why I know is because I was there during the meeting. The person that was doing the briefing of the plan as to how everything's going to work out, how everything should work out, I think it's going to be a nightmare. Construction is going to probably go on for years if they do it there. Where they're going to house the students, it's going to be it's gonna be really bad. It's about 3,000 students in Hokai. And so as I see it, we need a new high school, not adding to the current high school.
Thank you. I will say this, and if nobody else has anything, any of you board members got anything to say before I close? Janet? Janet?
I believe, going back to what he was saying about the school, I think a little bit was pictures and all was in the News Journal this past week, or last week. So you can learn more about that high school and what they want to do there in the News Journal, you know. But I'm like him, I believe it's gonna be a nightmare. But, you can read up on that a little bit in the News Journal too.
Well, I'll say this in closing. When you have a sore on your hand, you don't continue to put a Band-Aid on it. Why would you take $78 million and add on to something you still ain't got nothing needed? So, with the 15-mile radius that the fire department boundaries cover for the community of Rockfish, probably more, maybe 6,000 people. And it boils down to this: you need to support what's going on in the community. We all know that there's a need for something like that in this community. 2 people can't do it. 3 people can't do it. Everybody has got to come together. You've got to be united and go up and represent yourself, an act of speech. Everybody don't agree with me. A lot of people don't like me, but that's fine. We have got to voice our opinion of where we stand. And once we find out when that date's going to be, I'd like to see a line of people from Rockfish at the Board of Education to voice their opinion of what needs to be done. What have we covered tonight? We've covered some things that concern our community. Very important. The 29th, which is next Tuesday night, I'd like to see 100 people in here. Probably more. I'll bring out a sound system. You can hear it from all the way to Cumberland County.
There, that's Thursday.
Yes, sir.
That's Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday. But we need to tell everybody about what's going on. Then we have another one in October. And that gives you a week to decide what you want to do November 8th. We're voting right up here. So if there's no further business, I thank you all for coming. Oh, excuse me.
Just one last thing I want to say real quick. We have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page, we have a Gmail newsletter,
That's right.
and we have these live meetings every month.
That's right.
Nobody in this county should be able to say that they're not informed when they go to that voting booth.
I have people from Rayford call me all the time and tell me they watch the meeting.
We have approximately 3,700 citizens in Rockfish, 54,000 in Hope County.
And you got people of Rockfish that has never darted these doors to support this community.
We're lucky to have a dozen people paying
That's right.
attention to what we're doing.
And you know what upsets you? Because what we do here, it's free.
It's free.
We volunteer.
Takes a few seconds to subscribe to the YouTube
30
channel,
minutes
subscribe
every
to
third
the
Tuesday
newsletter,
night.
like
It
the
don't hurt
Facebook
you.
page, share it to someone you know, get the information out. We're doing everything we can to get it out.
Now what's going to happen down the road is something happens that Rockfish expands into a more of a capacity of a city. They're going to say, well, y'all didn't notify me where you've been for 9 years.
That's all I got to say.
That's all I got to say. We're dismissed. Thank y'all for coming.
But I want to say something.
All right?
Yes, sir.
It's for real. People
I recognize your
do not
face.
know who to vote for.
How are you?
I worked at the polls,
Hey, we still going?
and I've seen people come in
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
their ballots, and they don't
Yes,
even
sir,
know
yes, sir.
who's running.
Well, that's the reason for the meet and greet.
Amen.
We're dismissed.